Hello everyone, welcome back to Sportsbook Review's coverage of the Premier League. I'm your host Martin Green. I have alongside me Alex Campean and George Gamble. Matt Lawrence has gone to Lake Michigan. He's recreating American Pie 2, so we don't have him this week. Alex has kindly stepped in. Alex, we haven't had you on the Premier League show this season yet, I don't think. What have you think of the Premier League so far? Who do you think is going to win it?
Tough to tell. Yeah, too many teams fighting for the top spot there at the end of the season. Probably the most in shape team right now and the most consistent one, of course, are the leaders, Liverpool. They are back on their brilliant goal-scoring form with Salah. Brilliant in front of the net with Van Dijk back. I think that this team, if they keep staying without injuries and if they keep this consistency, can go all the way. Manchester City using their lacking their striker. Manchester United middle is very poor, and also at the back they have great big issues. Chelsea, like we've seen, I don't know what is happening with them. From the most consistent team in the Premier League, they lost 2 games in a row without even scoring. So yeah, so far so good for Liverpool, you know. Let's see what will happen from now on, because there is a big match this week.
Come on, Alex, you forgot the biggest team in the Premier League.
Sorry, Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal. And whom they are playing this weekend?
The mighty Brighton.
Yeah, the minus 3.5 for Arsenal. Yeah, go for it.
Definitely.
Bank of the week.
Anchor of the week, minus 3.5 for Arsenal. Okay, I'm going to say hello to Fixed Match. Hello, Jojo Mofo. Hello, El Matador. Hello, Manchester is Red. We'll tell that to George Gamble, our resident Man City fan. Good afternoon, Harry Doherty. Jojo Mofo says, great night on the Europa League again. Thanks for all the tips and looking forward to more. Thank you, Jojo. That makes me very happy to hear. Ashley Waite says, aloha. What time is it in Hawaii this morning, Ashley? Let us know. Hello to Joe
4:30, same like yesterday.
That's amazing dedication. I love it. Hello from Chicago. Hello, Vivica Crystal in Chicago. Hello to Suresh, Kevin, King Petrelli, Niklas, and Manchester is Red again. Hello from Kenya. Hello, Mohammed. Hi, guys. It's great to have you all here. We're going to break down the games in just a minute, but please do give us a thumbs up. I know I ask you this every time, sound like a broken record, but we just love it. We love the good vibes. So do that. Subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and after the video, head on over to sportsbookreview.com and read some great content. Okay, we are going to kick things off with Manchester United up against Everton. A Manchester team versus a Merseyside team. Very interesting. Man United have got a couple of defensive players missing, like Harry Maguire's out, Luke Shaw's been out. But do Everton have the firepower to capitalise? Because I don't think there's going to be Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin. So is this going to be a Man United win, Alex?
Yeah, no Richarlison, but not even Calvert-Lewin. But they still have players who can find the back of the net. I think that they will score against Manchester United. Under Rafa Benitez, they improved with every single match this season. Most of the players, like 1,000. You know how good he is this season. You know. I didn't expect that from 1,000. I think that You are muted? Sorry? Martin? You're muted. Anyway, Andros 1,004 goals across all competition. Abdoulaye Doucouré in great shape. Also, they have also Demarai Gray, who can find the back of the net. As you said about Manchester United defensive issues with Maguire missing, their dreadful midfield with McTominay and Fred, who are not helping either in front or either at the back. So I don't know what they are doing on the pitch. Yes, they have Cristiano Ronaldo who can find the back of the net whenever he wants. It's like, okay, I want to score now. Okay, he scores, in the last minute of the game. But still, they are struggling. That win against Villarreal was lucky, to be honest. Villarreal should have been around 2-3-0 in the first half, So, again, the Champions League nights are made for Cristiano Ronaldo. And it's normal for the fans to thank him after that crazy, undeserved win, to be honest. After some poor results, I think that Solskjaer is under pressure, to be honest. Manchester United should be able to win this game without taking advantage of Everton's missing two strikers, like we said, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. But still, I think that we should see at least 3 goals in the match at -122.
Okay, thanks, Alex. Let's get back on the chat. Hello to Sam. Hello, hey, Sean. Hello, Parag from Melbourne, Australia. Great to have you here. Hi, Jeremiah. Iniesta Green, says Harry. I'm loving this Iniesta tag. I think just like a bit of flair in midfield. Hello to Marco Paul. Hello, Kevin. Hello to the Wanderer. Hello to Mr. and Mr. Sigurdsson. Can't pronounce the first name, I'm afraid. Sorry. Hello, Kevin. Hello again, Sean. Great to have you all here. Yeah, I think
I think that it's Thorvaldur Sigurdsson. This is what I think. Or Thorvaldur or something like that. But let's see if I pronounce it correct.
Hello, Ashton. Hi, guys. It's just great to have you all here. Yeah, I think
the Sigurdsson name doesn't sound too good right now in the football in the Premier League. If you say Sigurdsson, you're not allowed to talk about that subject.
We'll
moving swiftly on.
Yeah. George, we haven't heard from you yet. I apologise. We've taken our time to come to you, but we're just building you up. We're just waiting for your expert analysis on this game. What's your take on United versus Everton?
Well, yes, obviously the second best side in Manchester taking on the second best side in Merseyside, isn't it? So it is an interesting one. From a City perspective, I'm absolutely loving it. Every time Ole gets a win, it means he's in the job for another couple of months. And long may he stay there, because he's not the man to take him forward and get him back fighting on all fronts again, that's for sure. But yeah, Rafa Benitez, he could become the first ever manager to win a top flight away match against United with 3 different clubs. And, it's no secret how well he's done since he's gone there. He's a brilliant manager. All of the things that Solskjaer is bad at, Rafa Benitez is brilliant at, making those in-game decisions, being able to look at a game and think tactically, right, that's not working immediately. Let's change it before something bad happens. He's proactive rather than reactive, which is what I think Solskjaer is. But you look at the sort of form as well and previous head-to-heads. United, they do tend to do quite well against Everton. They've not lost any of their last 6 against them. In fact, Everton have conceded in all of those last 6 against United. But looking at this season, as you've already mentioned, the defensively United look a bit suspect. They've not kept a clean sheet in their last 6 matches. They've also conceded first in 4 out of their last 5. I do think United are probably going to make some changes in this one. I think even Solskjaer can look at that and think maybe I need to keep things a bit fresh. It's a quick turnaround from that game midweek against Villarreal, whereas Alex said they were so lucky to come away with that win. Villarreal should have been home and dry. They really should have, but obviously David De Gea providing the goods. And there's no Maguire there. So are they going to be even more vulnerable than they have been? I do like both teams to score, but it's just the lack of attacking threat from Everton that worries me. They got past Norwich City last time out, but Norwich are the worst team in the league by far. And Everton were on home soil. They saw less possession and they scored with 2 of their 4 shots on target. And I don't care who you are, you're playing against Norwich. 4 shots on target at home is just not good enough. And I've seen Rondon a lot. I've seen him live. And even 3 years ago when I watched him live, the man had the mobility of a pub. Do you know what I mean? He's just got no movement whatsoever. He's got the turning circle of the Titanic. And he's not going to trouble this back line too much, I don't think. For a big man, he does not hold on to the ball too well. He's a poor man's Romelu Lukaku, in my opinion. I think even with possible changes, United could score a couple of goals here and pin Everton back. And I wouldn't go against what Alex has said in terms of goals. But for me, the market's right behind United and that. And for me, this is just going to be a watching one. And also depending on what the team lineups are, because if there is no Ronaldo, rest the like of Ronaldo, Fernandes, and say Lingard and Cavani come in, obviously you can see those prices fluctuate. So I think for now, this one will just be a watching one for me.
Would you think that they will keep Ronaldo on the bench?
Potentially, because you've got to rest your star players at times with such a quick turnaround.
But it's the international break after that. He can rest after. He can
it's possible.
Make a call to the Portuguese manager. I'm not feeling good for 2 weeks. Let me stay.
It's been known.
It's been known. Like the kids are doing for school. I don't want to play.
Ronaldo loves scoring goals for Portugal, but Man United can be a little bit selfish here and just play him. Yeah, Everton don't travel particularly well for me. They conceded twice against Leeds, who have had a poor start to the season. Lost 3-0 away at Aston Villa last time out, and they've got a dreadful record against Man United recently, and they haven't got the firepower. So, despite Man United being a bit fatigued perhaps from midweek exploits, I still think they can win. So I've gone for Man United and over 1.5 goals in this one. Going to say good morning to Ian. Hello to James Lyons. Hello to Anurod Chilwell. Hello. Yeah, and your pronunciation is right of Thor Valdor, Alex. Good one there. Hello to Jesse in Las Vegas. What a great city. Luke Di Stefano's going to sleep in Sydney, but he's going to watch when he wakes up. Love it.
You stay till this hour and you're going to sleep for the live show. Come on, 40 minutes. Stay here with us.
Stay here with us. We'll only keep you for another, I'd say 35 minutes. So I must admit that we've gone on for quite a long time about the Man United Everton game. So we're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit moving forward. Next up, we have Burnley versus Norwich. Now, Norwich, I believe, have lost 16 consecutive games in the Premier League. 10 last in the 2 seasons ago before they were relegated, and 6 at the start of this season. They're bottom of the table. They're having a horrible season. Burnley are also in the relegation zone in 19th place. So it's a battle of the bottom dwellers, George. Which one do you think comes out on top?
Well, it doesn't look to be a classic, does it, this one? I don't think this is one that people are going to be racing to watch the highlights for. But
no. We have Mainz versus Union Berlin, the match of the weekend. So
this is a contender with Mainz.
Yeah. Do you know what though? This has got one of my favourite bets for the weekend in it. Like I said, you've got a side who've won just 4 home games since the start of last season. Yeah, Burnley have won 18% of those, and they welcome a side who've not got a win in any of their opening 6. And obviously, as you already said, the last 16 overall. And Burnley themselves, they're on a winless run of 9 games, drawing 2 and losing 7. And that run finds them second bottom, just above Norwich. But I'm so disappointed with Norwich. They're by far one of the worst teams I think I've ever seen in the Premier League. They won the Championship at a canter. They look brilliant. They've invested 50 million into their squad. And I reckon my Sunday team could probably give them a go. They're just horrific. They really, really are.
Put me in goal. I will not consider clean shit.
They're just so poor. They really are. And their record at Turf Moor makes for grim viewing as well. They've won just 1 of their last 18 visits and conceded 2 or more in each of the last 8. And it's just this kind of stylistically, I think Burnley will have the edge here. Burnley are a big side. They don't really have to take a man on, because you've got Maxwell Cornet, who's brilliant signing for Burnley. He's probably going to be out of this one, I think, with a hamstring injury. But Burnley just need to pump balls into that box because Norwich, they're not a big side. And when you've got Wooden Barnes up top, those aerial battles are going to be key. And I think Burnley get the win here. I really do. And you look at the fact none of the previous 43 head-to-head games between these two have finished goalless. So I don't think we're going to see a 0-0 draw. And like I said, stylistically for me, looking at the two sides, I just don't see how Burnley don't score. Only a win will do. The sides are sitting in very precarious spots this early on in the season. And like I said, Norwich just so poor, haven't led a single game all season. Horrid away record to Burnley. And I just don't see them picking up the win here. I see Burnley causing the damage and Sean Dyche doing what he does best, getting points from those around him. So I think Burnley get the win here. And I was very surprised to see they were priced up at -110.
Minus 105 right now.
Yeah, I'd be opposing Norwich City probably against anyone, to be fair. And I think Burnley get the win. So yeah, great price for me.
Yeah, Burnley love to pump balls in the box. I think they someone on the chat saying that they haven't played badly. They just haven't been clinical, Jeremiah's saying. I agree with that. They've played well. They've been in every game. And this is the sort of game that they can win. They love pumping balls into the box, and they could bully this Norwich defence.
They're just better. They're just better. They nearly got that win away at Leicester. Obviously it was disallowed, but they can perform. As you said, they have just been unlucky, and they're so much better than Norwich. So for me, great price on Burnley.
Yeah, great. Thanks, George. Hello to Ghost5. Hi, Ollie in Cape Town. Cape Town's another amazing city. Loved visiting Cape Town. Fabrice says, Chelsea has disappointed me so much. They've disappointed us all, haven't they? Yeah. Tell that to Harry Doherty and Rude Boy in the chat. They need to know this stuff. Okay, Alex, I'm going Burnley too. Are you going to make it a full house, or are you passing this one?
I'm not having an official bet on this match, but I'm with you guys. Norwich, what a dreadful team. Like everyone said also on the chat, Burnley created a lot of chances in their matches, but they are not converting them into goals. So this is their main problem. Hopefully, this is the turn back for Burnley. This is the perfect opportunity, basically, for them to win 3 points. And tell me, when it was the last time a team went from the Premier League to Championship, again in the Premier League and again in the Championship in 4 years in a row like that? Because this is what will happen with Norwich.
They're the ultimate yo-yo team, aren't they? There's a few other yo-yo teams that love going between the two divisions.
Yeah. West Brom.
West Brom.
Yeah, but like that, 2 seasons in a row coming in the Premier League and going to the Championship?
No one's quite like Norwich. No one's quite.
Yeah, because Ashley was saying that she loves underdogs and she ordered the Norwich T-shirt, a jersey. But I think that she will have to wear it in the mornings, in the Championship.
Yeah, I'd wear it indoors. Never go outside wearing that.
No, she will support Norwich in the Championship probably. This is why.
You'll just be walking along the beach in Hawaii, and there'll be some crazy Norwich guy that comes up to you and gives you a big hug because they've never seen anyone wearing a Norwich shirt outside of Norwich. There's a bit of a South African rivalry going on in the chat because Royal Blood says it's all about Johannesburg. Well, I'm staying well out of that one. Okay, we are going to move on to Chelsea versus Southampton. Southampton have been kind of, I don't know, like giant killers, but they've picked up results despite not having a great start to the season. They've picked up results against big teams. They've drawn 4 times. They're a tough nut to crack, I would say, Alex. Chelsea, they've had the trip to Turin. They've got to come back, lacking a bit of firepower, but they've got a deep squad. I think they can do a Chelsea and get a narrow win in this one.
Yeah, I think that they will do a Chelsea and they will get a narrow win. Southampton, unfortunately, are not at all clinical in front of the goal. This is what is happening also to Burnley. They lost Danny Ings in the summer and Vestergaard. They have right now Adam Armstrong from Blackburn, but he failed to impress. Like you said, they are giant killers. They kept City to a draw. They kept Manchester United to a draw. They had 6 shots on target against Wolves, but without finding the back of the net. So this is their main issue. Again, a team with the same issue like Burnley. They cannot find the back of the net. And like Wolves, because we will talk about Wolves later on, the same kind of teams, I think that Wolves are 4th in the expected goals, XG in the Premier League. And they still only have 3 goals, I think that is 6 matches. But coming back to Southampton, against a rock-solid defensive side like Chelsea, against a Chelsea side that are wounded after two defeats in a row, one against City and one against, you tell me, in the Champions League, I have my head with Juventus, sorry. Yeah, exactly, Juventus. What a bad game from Chelsea against Juventus with no creativity at all. They didn't know what to do with the ball. I don't understand why Tuchel is not taking Lukaku out when he sees that he's struggling, because against Bonucci and Chiellini, obviously he was struggling, right? Not at all helped by his teammates. So take him out, put another one. But no,
They should have Tammy Abraham to come on.
Yeah, but they don't have Tammy Abraham. Unfortunately, Mourinho took him, and he's doing a pretty good job at Roma right now. They are also missing N'Golo Kante, who tested positive one day just before the Juventus game. But I still think that they have enough to win short, like a 1-0, 2-0. And I don't expect Southampton to find the back of the net, because this is what we get from this Southampton. Yeah, I know that last season both games ended in a draw, but this time around things are different. The how you say, the squad of Chelsea is different. The approach is different. So I don't think it will be very tough for the Saints to find the back of the net. So I'm going Chelsea win 2-0 at +120.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I also went for Chelsea win 2-0. So great minds think alike. Hey, shout out to Dwayne on the chat. Hey, Dwayne. And Harry Doherty, very confident Chelsea fan, says that they're going to win by at least 2 goals in this one. Sean thinks under 3.5 goals in the match. What's your reading of this one, George, having seen your Man City team walk all over Chelsea last weekend?
Yeah, what a performance that was. This will obviously be slightly different.
What a performance that! Don't get too hyped about that, because it wasn't the best performance.
I thought Man City were very, very good last week.
We were phenomenal. Who else can limit? Everyone's been going on about Chelsea. Chelsea are going to storm to the title. They didn't have a single shot on target. We dominated them on their own patch.
You were in Champions League against PSG.
Yeah, it's PSG. They've got Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, and we still dominated them. But look, Chelsea, they've had 1 shot on target across their last 2 matches. That's poor. And they spent 100 million on Lukaku. It's not good enough. It's simply not good enough. And for me, they've scored first in 8 of their previous 10 matches. And I do think they got on the score sheet. I think they'll get the job done. But after that midweek trip to Turin, it's just going to be a case of making sure they get the win, by hook or by crook. They're not notorious goal scorers, so I'm expecting it to be very tight. And we've seen Southampton frustrate City. Defensively, they're quite solid, and they do frustrate you. They get in your faces. It's just, as you've already mentioned, going forward, they're not clinical. Losing Danny Ings is going to be a blow for any side. But I do think they'll frustrate a potentially leggy Chelsea side. And notoriously in the past as well, these kind of games, they've been very difficult for Chelsea. I don't think they've won. That's it. Yeah, winning could be tricky. They found with Southampton across the last 5 meetings, that's it. They've won 1, drawn 3, and lost 1. And I think everything's pointing to a very tight and cagey game. And I actually quite like the price. The Saints on a handicap of +1, 1.5. And that was just a shade under evens at -103. Because I can see Chelsea winning this 1-0 and just getting the job done and seeing that out. I really can. Because also Mason Mount is not sure. They're not clear if he's going to play in this one. He's created more big chances for Chelsea this season than any other player. They'll be missing N'Golo Kante in the middle. He tested positive for COVID, and he's so important and knits everything together in that midfield. So they could be a little bit disjointed. They were very poor against Juventus, so I thought. And like I said, for me, just get the win by hook or by crook in a very tight and cagey game. So I think your win 2-0 is a great price. I think that's a brilliant bet. And the other one I like is the Saints on that +1, +1.5 handicap. So if they lose by 1, obviously it's basically a half void, half win.
Yeah, I've put you down as +1.25 there. Another way of way of writing it. Yeah, thanks, George. I'm glad you agree. We both take a 1-0. I think we'd all take a 1-0 to Chelsea. I agree that they lack creativity without Mount, and they lack a bit of urgency without the likes of Christian Pulisic in attack. But I've been worried about Southampton all season. As soon as they sold Danny Ings, obviously Adam Armstrong scored on his debut, but he's drawn a blank in 5 consecutive matches since then. And yeah, I do think they lack the firepower really to hurt Chelsea in this game. So a narrow win for Chelsea for me too. Hello to Pinaldo Enterprises. I love the way Martin Green analyses matches. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Hello to Mattress Johnny, who's going for Southampton, double chance and under 3.5 goals. Says Chelsea are struggling. Promise Apara's thinking maybe cards. Ooh, Ashley Waite's going for correct score group 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. Like it.
By the way, before we go further, I wanted to ask George, because I know that he is betting the cards market and stuff like that. Manchester United, Everton, the line is at 3.5. I think that the over is a great price.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I'm just double checking here because obviously I've got all my sheets ready to go for the referees. So the referee for this one is Michael Oliver. I mean, this season he's averaging 3.2 cards per game and around 20 odd fouls. I mean, it really, trouble is you've got to wait for the situation of the game state as well. Manchester United pretty much always see a card at home. They always do. But it's whether this Everton side are going to be competitive enough going forward and creating those opportunities that are going to draw in those challenges. The choice in the park, that's quite a high line for a Premier League game, 3.5. Usually it's around 2.5 because cards, compared to La Liga, Serie A, cards are few and far between. 5 or 6 in a Serie A
you
game.
Wouldn't say because the Premier League is way more aggressive than the other two leagues.
But there's no play acting really in comparison into the other leagues. As soon as a player goes down, the totting up procedure, they're very emotional and they start fighting, or there's a brawl. Whereas the Premier League is very well known. It's kind of synonymous with just grit, get on with it. That's just the way it is in the Premier League, and referees tend to let a lot more go. So that's quite a high line for a Premier League game. So I'd be wary of it, particularly with a ref who's averaging underneath the line.
Okay, gentlemen, we are generally supposed to be doing these shows in about half an hour, and we've spent 26 minutes talking about the first 3 games. So I am going to have to ask.
This is what you get when you invite me,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Matt's like, yeah, I think, Chelsea, good, go. No, it's good. It's all good. We're delighted to have you on the show, Alex. Next up, we have Leeds versus Watford. Should be an interesting game. Leeds haven't really lived up to their potential so far this season. They are winless and they're in the relegation zone, which is a bit worrying for a team that finished in the top half last time around. George, Watford, they've got a better record than Leeds. Do you think this is the game in which Leeds could get their first win of the season?
Possibly. It's very difficult to say. I think Watford will cause them a lot of problems going into this one. You look at Leeds, they're yet to keep a clean sheet this season. They've failed to keep one of their previous 10 at home against Watford. So they might need to score 2 if they're going to win this one. Interestingly enough as well, Leeds have never failed to win in their first 7 games of a league season in their entire 102-year history. So they could be record breakers if they fail to beat Watford this weekend. But it'll be an unwanted record. There's talk of, second season syndrome. Everyone praises Leeds for that gung-ho approach that they have. But the style of play they have and the way they do it is not conducive to long-term success or stability within the Premier League. And I think we're starting to see that now. And whereas Watford, they're beginning to show that kind of hardiness, which is sort of required from those newly promoted sides in order to stay afloat. They've picked up 4 of their last 6 available points, and that could have easily been 6, to be fair. Watford came from behind against Newcastle and only drew after having a late winner ruled out by VAR. I think for this one, players like Ismail Assar are going to be key. You look at his output, 11 of his 16 total shots have been on target. He's very efficient. And the way Leeds pile forward and flood men forward, he could be pivotal on that counter. And ahead of this round, Leeds, they're the worst disciplined Premier League side with 14 yellow cards and 1 red card already. There's been at least 3 goals in 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two, with both teams scoring in 5 of those. And it's, as you mentioned, Watford have kind of got the edge in this one. They're unbeaten against Leeds in their last 5 head-to-head. But Watford themselves, they're without a clean sheet in any of their 5 previous games and have conceded first in 4 of the last 5. So we could be in for a cracker, particularly when you look, Leeds are conceding an average of 2.3 goals per game this season. And it just really is a good match in styles for me. Like I said, Leeds' approach, the way they flood forward, that could play into Watford's hands. They're exceptional on the counter, the likes of Sarr and Dennis. And I'm expecting an exciting end-to-end game here. And I think, for me, I'm taking a different approach, and it's a big, big price, particularly when you look at the way Leeds defend. And it's for Watford to score two or more goals, because I think they could easily get 2 goals. The price was a little big. It was around, I think it was 3.2. I'm just trying to do the odds conversion for that into American odds, but
plus 220.
There you go. But that's just ridiculously high for me. The way this Leeds are, the way they're conceding goals at an alarming rate. Ismail Assar, he's so good. He is so good. Every fullback that comes up against him struggles, and I think Leeds will be no different. So for me, end to end, I reckon Watford could get a couple of goals here. I think Leeds is going to struggle.
Okay, thanks, George. I like this comment from Fixed Match. You're saying the Premier League is aggressive. I don't think you've ever seen a game in the Tunisian league I must admit, I haven't seen a game in the Tunisian league that I can remember, but it sounds rowdy. I would like to see that. Jojo Mofo's going for both teams to score. Aubrey Griffin, Watford double chance. Suresh, Watford double chance 2. Dwayne's going for over 2.5 goals. Oh, Jeremiah's going for Leeds and over 1.5 goals. Ronaldo's going for the Alex Classic. There's all sorts going on. No one can make up. No, there's not a great deal of agreement in the chat.
I like the goals angle, but for me the price was too short. It was around 1.6, hovering around there, and it's just too short for me. I wanted something else. And whilst I think it could land, it's just too short to back that for me.
Okay, thanks, George. Alex, what's your take on this one?
Yeah, no, perfect preview. I won't add anything. The Alex Classic is at 1.85 right now, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. So probably that's the thing. But yeah, I like that 2.25 you said, George, of Watford to score 2 goals. 2 plus.
It was at 3.2, so plus 220, I think.
Oh, whoa, 3.2. Wow, huge value on that. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I don't know, I just feel like Leeds have got to wake up sooner or later. Okay, next up we have Wolves versus Newcastle. Wolves still kind of finding their feet a bit under the new manager, but they got a win last time out. Great to see Jimenez back among the goals. That was a lovely moment, I think, after everything he's been through. Newcastle still winless, just like Leeds, just like Burnley, just like Norwich. Looking like another long old season, Alex, for Newcastle fans.
Not only, also for Wolves fans that have Bruno Lage at the wheel. How you say, Ole at the wheel, Bruno Lage at the wheel on this one. So it's a battle between Adama Traore and San Maximin here. 2 players with one incredible pace, great one-on-one, huge quality, amazing on the break. So who against who? This is the question. I think that the last 5 matches head-to-head ended in a 1-1 draw. I think that both teams will be happy to win 1 point from this one. Not so much Newcastle that they have 0 wins, like you said, Martin. But Wolves, I think that they will be very happy with 1 point from this match. Wolves coming, they turned the page after the very poor start to their season with 3 defeats. They entered this match with 2 wins in 3 matches. Again, they have one of the best XG in the league. But again, they are not clinical in front of the net. So I think that this should change little by little also with the Wolves. Newcastle with Almiron, with Joelinton, great quality in the attack. So both teams to score for me here at minus 110.
Interesting. Thanks, Alex. Habib in the chat saying Arsenal to win the league is a good futures bet. Yeah, it is 150 to 1. Arsenal on a 3-game winning streak, and they are unstoppable at present. We'll come on to that one next. George, do you agree with Alex's take on Wolves versus Newcastle?
Yeah, basically a carbon copy of everything that Alex has said. Also, Wolves don't tend to do well against Newcastle. They've not won any of their previous 7, but 5 of those have been draws. They are also yet to score before half-time in the Premier League this season. It's something that's become synonymous with Wolves, just the lack of goals. But Newcastle, they're yet to win this season, and the pressure just constantly seems to be mounting on Steve Bruce. And also the Magpies, they're conceding goals at such an alarming rate. They don't have a single clean sheet, and they're conceding an average of 2.3 goals per game. So for me, both teams, they found the back of the net in all 12 previous Premier League head-to-heads. And in fact, it's the most played Premier League fixture to have not witnessed a clean sheet for either side. So, Newcastle winless in 7, without a clean sheet in 4, and both teams have scored in 4 of their last 5. For me, I just think both sides need a win, but both their defences are pretty calamitous. So I think Newcastle can get on the score sheet, but Wolves will create too many chances, as wasteful as they are, not to score against Newcastle. So for me, I think both teams to score was a solid bet and the pick for this one.
I was watching a show last weekend after the Premier League on Eurosport, and they said that Bruce is almost to be sacked if he will not win a game in 2-3 games from now on. So probably probably this might be the end of Steve Bruce as a Newcastle manager.
Maybe.
Well, the fans don't really like him. They've never warmed to him. They weren't keen on him being appointed in the first place. But I don't really know what much more he could do. Chronic underinvestment in the squad. They only signed Willock in the summer, who was already on loan there last season. You need to freshen things up in the Premier League. If you stand still, you go backwards. So, I think he's doing okay with the the limited resources at his disposal. I feel a bit sorry for him, to be honest. But we must move on to the biggest game of the weekend, of course. It is Brighton versus Arsenal at the Amex.
I will let you talk. We will let you talk about this match, and we will not even say a prediction because for sure Arsenal will win, right?
Well, of course Arsenal are going to win. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They've swept aside the mighty Norwich, the mighty Burnley, and the mighty Tottenham in 3 consecutive games. They're benefiting from a lack of European football this season, and beat Brighton home and away last season. I have to say, I haven't actually been that impressed with Brighton in their last couple of games. Very, very lucky to get a draw against Crystal Palace last time out. The one thing that does concern me is that Yves Bissouma could be coming back into the team. I think he was missed badly last time out. If he's there, he's a very strong holding midfielder. But it would be interesting to see him go head-to-head with Partey. Partey's been good in recent weeks. I think Arsenal bring a lot of momentum into this game. And Arsenal, the odds on an away win for Arsenal look great. Arsenal draw no bet just looks fantastic. Tell me I'm wrong. Who's tell me I'm wrong? Anyone?
No, we don't even dare to tell you you're wrong. Only after the performances of Ramsdale, you can tell that Arsenal are a great club.
Yeah, there's all this nonsense about like Alisson, Edison, who's the best keeper in the world. Aaron Ramsdale. Don't worry.
Well, do you know what? I was watching it because my uncle and my dad, they're both Spurs fans, and for their birthdays, joint birthdays, I've bought them tickets to go and watch Spurs at home to Leeds, because obviously Leeds were the big club back when they were sort of like going every week.
That's not a present, George. That's like you want to punish someone.
I was watching it with them, and I was just waiting for the comment of, "Oh, thank God I've not gone down there to watch this game." And I was just sort of like, "Oh, please don't." But no, it was fantastic performance from Arsenal in that North London derby. But you say that, you've beaten the 2 bottom sides in the league and the side who are probably in the worst form ever. So I wouldn't read too much into it.
Exactly.
But we're on a roll, George. We're on a roll. We were missing a load of players who had COVID and were injured in the opening weeks of the season. Since Arteta's best starting 11 has come together,
trust the process.
Trust the progress. It's like the Philadelphia 76ers, but trust the process of the Arsenal Football Club. It's going to be great.
I do feel it's only fair we look a little bit into Brighton, though, just for the show's sake. But, the Amex, it's been a happy home for them of late. They've won 3 of their last 4 Premier League home games, lost just once. And that's as many as they mustered in the previous 22 prior, where they won 3, drew 10 and lost 9. They are solid defensively. And that's shown their good form, as they now kept 7 home clean sheets in the calendar year 2021, and only City and Chelsea's 9 apiece betters that. So they do tend to do quite well at home. And it's only the second time Arsenal are going to play Brighton in the top flight whilst below them in the league standings. Last time that happened was in 1982. So it's quite interesting. I quite like that one. But
won't be below them for long, George. Won't be below them for long. Don't worry.
There you go. But when Arsenal have been priced at evens or above away from home this season, they've only won once, and that was against Burnley, obviously second bottom, and they've lost 2, and that was against Brentford and Man City. But for me, Arsenal, they're able to deploy that first choice defence, and that's going to be a huge boost. As you've already mentioned.
What do you think about the under 2.5 goals at 1.8 here in this one?
I think it's possible. I do think it'll be tight. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, personally. I think both teams' defences, you've got Arsenal, obviously, with their full defence back. Brighton, very good, as I've already mentioned about the clean sheets. It'll be a close one. It wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal nick this 1-0. But like you said, it remains to be seen if Bissouma's fit, Welbeck and Wepo as well. If they're not available, then for me, Arsenal draw no bet. It's got to be the play. Absolutely got to be the play.
Welbeck just couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo. We had Welbeck up front for a couple of seasons, and he is just the worst finisher in the league.
Didn't your guys once employ Bentner?
We did. Put it away. Listen, George, Arsenal winning titles long before the Emirate of Abu Dhabi just bought Man City and just
true.
success.
I think we won the FA Cup before you, way back when.
Fake club.
We'd already qualified for Europe before they came in.
Bentner was probably scoring winners against Man City in the pre-oil money days. Jojo Mofo says, but Xhaka's out for a long time. Yeah, but that's a good thing, Jojo. You don't want Xhaka in the team. It's useless. That's even better. Ashley's taking a shot on Arsenal. Yes, come on, Arsenal. We're all going for Arsenal. Okay, we must move on to Crystal Palace versus Leicester. Now, Crystal Palace, I thought actually played really well against Brighton. They were really unlucky not to get a win in that one. But, you know, I had both teams to score, so I was happy that Morpay scored right at the end. Leicester just haven't. What's going wrong with Leicester? I've lost my mojo because I don't know who to come to first anymore. We'll come to Alex. What's gone wrong with Leicester this season, Alex? Because they've had 2 5th place finishes in a row, and they're doing terribly.
I mean, what is going wrong with both teams? Because hit and miss with both teams. Loss, draw, win. Loss, draw, win. For both of them, if we keep it like that, and if we're going with this logic, I think that this should end in a draw match, like a 1-1 kind of draw, you know. But, yeah, I don't know. Crystal Palace played brilliant against Tottenham, but so did Arsenal, you know. This is why George was saying that don't you even dare to consider the match against Tottenham when you're capping a game in the Premier League. Because everybody is beating Tottenham at the moment, you know. Zaha, Benteke, Ayew. Sorry?
Apart from Man City.
Water off a duck's back, mate. You carry on.
Someone was saying in the chat earlier, but that not all the Manchester teams can beat the PSG. So,
well, I think we beat them to get to the final last season. That's the first time they've ever beaten us.
Yeah, true.
PSG. Man City.
Yeah, I don't know. They lost against Legia Warsaw.
It's awful. I bet on Leicester yesterday. It was awful. I was like, how has this happened? How did Leicester lose to Legia Warsaw?
It's true that they rested most of their players, and in the second half they had the possession. They created a lot of opportunities, but yeah, they lost. It happens, you know. This is why at the beginning of the season we said about this difference about from the Premier League clubs to La Liga teams, you know, when it comes to a competition like Europa League. No interest in this competition. Probably they will go further from the second spot because they will destroy Legia on their turf in the second match. But there is no interest, and they're not playing focused on the game, you know. They are thinking, okay, what we have next? Crystal Palace. We don't even play in Europa League, you know. So I think that it's time for Leicester to bounce back a little bit, but I don't trust them, and still I don't trust Crystal Palace. Hit and miss again. I don't have an opinion on this game. It's very, very tough to call this game.
Okay, no worries, Alex. Ashley's asking about Bilbao and under 3.5 goals. Yeah, like it. We've got La Liga coming up a little bit later on today. So hit the notification bell, which I'm sure you probably have done already, and then you'll be notified when we're about to start filming our La Liga show. George, you got anything on Palace versus Leicester?
Similar to Alex, it's so difficult to read because both of these sides are very unreliable. I mean, obviously, you've got Patrick Vieira at Crystal Palace trying to change the way they play. You know, he was unbeaten against Leicester as a player, so we'll see if he can obviously transfer that to being a manager. But it's just so difficult to call. You've got Leicester, suddenly their defence looks very vulnerable. They're leaving gaps. You know, it's just they're so penetrable, that defence. It really is. They're without a clean sheet in the last 10 away Premier League matches, and it's just so difficult to see which way this one's going to go because Crystal Palace themselves, they're without a clean sheet in their last 5 meetings with Leicester, but they have scored first in 6 of those 8 meetings with the Foxes as well. It's just so difficult. You know, Palace, they are unbeaten at home this season, so they could cause obviously a stutter in Leicester side some problems. But for me, I'm not confident enough on any outcome within this match to be able to place a pick, just because you don't know what to expect from these two sides from one week to the next.
Just pass.
Yes. Pass. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to be having a bet on this one. It'll just be a watch.
just slide on by. I'm going for both teams to score because I think they've still got a lot of firepower, Leicester, but they've been very sloppy at the back. And I was impressed by the quality that Crystal Palace displayed on the ball against Brighton. I think they could be a reasonably entertaining team this season. So I could see it being 1-1, 2-1 to a particular team. Okay, we really must move on. We've got Spurs, the mighty Spurs, up against Aston Villa. Can they reverse this long losing streak, George? I know they got a result in the Conference League in midweek, but in games that matter, Spurs have been awful and they're under a great deal of pressure. Is there going to be more pressure piled on Nuno in this game?
Quite possibly. And I was shocked to see the prices. Tottenham as low as 2.15 and Villa out to 3.65. I think Villa, obviously, the form that Spurs are in, I think Villa are probably the better side coming into this one. They don't keep, obviously, a lot of clean sheets, Villa, but they're coming off that brilliant result against Manchester United. Yeah. Slightly fortunate with Bruno Fernandes hitting that penalty into the Manchester flight path. But, it is what it is. They got the win, and it could be a bad game for Spurs yet again, because I think obviously they played midweek against a side of, no disrespect to them, but I've never heard of them in my life, and only Harry Kane coming on.
Such a brilliant performance from Spurs against the Slovenian side, Mura.
There you go. We'll use that one instead. Use that as a clip. But no, obviously that's bring Harry Kane on, and he got his customary hat trick. But yeah, it was troubling. And watching Spurs this season, they really do struggle against sides with energy, and no side possesses energy like Aston Villa. John McGinn, I've been so impressed with him this season. They're everywhere all the time. And Spurs fullbacks, you've got Reguilon, obviously Emerson as well. They're both more attacking minded. And if they leave gaps at the back for this Villa side, I know Leon Bailey won't be available, but Villa still have got a decent number of attacking options, and they could run that Spurs back line ragged with the gaps that they get left. And I just think, can Spurs really be this bad forever? But for me, I quite like over 2.5 goals. I think it could be end-to-end action because both sides make mistakes. Both sides at the back can be got at. And can Kane really go on being this bad in a Premier League game? It was summed up last weekend when he tried to turn and then just completely fell over. But over 2.5 goals is priced up at around 1.8 in most places. But I found it at 1.9, minus 111. And I think that price will go down as we edge closer to kick-off personally. Like I said, I think it could be a bad game for Spurs potentially. Just the form they're in, it's awful. It really is. So Villa want to capitalise on that. They'll be on cloud 9 after the result last week and will want to continue that. Yeah, it's got all the makings of a great game for me.
Yeah, he fell over and then he came running back and then he put the ball straight into Saka's path to make it 3-0. It was beautiful. And I really hope Tottenham are going to be this bad forever, George, because they've been terrible all my life. Certain to see a good Tottenham team these last 5 years. I want them to go back down to the lower echelons of the Premier League where they belong. Alex,
I miss those times that we were filming with Stuart. Him with Tottenham, you with Arsenal. It was a brilliant show every week.
Stuart's giving it all up. What's he doing? I don't know, something in France. If we ever do a Ligue 1 show, we'll have to get Stuart back on, get the band back together. A bit of love for a draw. Frank's going for an easy Villa win. A lot of people going for a draw in the chat. What do you think, Alex? Draw?
The value is on Villa, absolutely, 100%. Absolutely, all the value is on Villa, 3.7. You can go with the draw double chance at 1.75. Imagine, not even 2 from 3 at 1.75. But like George said, how many games in a row Tottenham can be this bad? I mean, it's a boost of confidence. It's a boost of confidence right now after 5-1 against the 5th place in Slovenia, Mura, that is beating with Domzale, with Maribor, with Olimpia Ljubljana there, with all these great teams in Europe. 5-1, such a great game from Kane and company. But Aston Villa. Also, if you remember many times when Tancredi is saying that a small team after they beat Juventus, for example, in the next match, they will be more relaxed than normally, and they will lose the game, or they will fail to win. This is how I see. Also, it's tough to bet on them, but the value is on them, so better pass.
Pass. Okay, good. Right, quick, move along. Brentford versus West Ham. Brentford away at the London Stadium. This just looks like a win for West Ham, doesn't it, Alex? I know Brentford have been really good so far this season, but Oh no, I think you've got a goals bet on this one. What are you going for?
A goals bet on this one, absolutely a goals bet, and I think that this is the value in this match, the only value. Yeah, the first chance is with West Ham, but what an amazing performance in the Premier League by Brentford. I wrote an article for this match, and I was saying that Brentford are the new Leeds. You remember Leeds last season. Brentford are exactly like Leeds were last season. So. I think that the Brentford can find the back of the net. They're high pressing. They are not scared about any of their opponent that they're playing against. They scored 3 against Liverpool. West Ham are not the best defensive side in the world, so everybody can score against them. Michail Antonio is back for West Ham, and he is back with a goal in the last minute of the game last week against Leeds. So over 2.5 goals at minus 1.005. I think that that is a brilliant set of odds for this match.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. Yeah, I'd say Brentford are perhaps even tougher than Leeds. I mean, Leeds are very good going forwards last season, but they look a lot more solid to me, Brentford. I always love betting on West Ham, but Brentford have only lost once already this season, George. Do you think they can get a result at the London Stadium?
Again, for me, it was too close to call. I've been so impressed with Brentford with the way they're playing. And obviously, last weekend, I had West Ham to get the job done away at Leeds. And they made hard work of it, but they got it done. It's just difficult to know what to expect with Brentford. When they went up against Liverpool, I thought they'd make it tight. I don't see there being that many goals in the game. There will just be an evenly fought contest. And then what happens? 3-3 draw. It was just incredible. It really was. And I don't think anyone expected that. So I like Alex's angle on the over 2.5. But just from a sort of cards perspective, I'm kind of looking at this one. I reckon it could be an extremely physical game. Both sides are going to look to dominate the aerial battles. You've got Ivan Toney up against Kurt Zouma, probably. Antonio looking to get the better of Brentford's back three. And that could be like key battles here. And I think it's going to be so physical. And particularly when you look at the ref who's in charge for this one. I know it's early on in the season, so it's hard to tell. But Peter Banks is in charge of this one, and he's already awarded 12 yellow cards, and he's only officiated 2 games. That's phenomenal. And Peter Banks, throughout the years, has been quite reliable for cards. So I think West Ham will sort of kind of dominate that midfield battle slightly, but I could see Brentford making it even more physical. And I was looking at Brentford to pick up 2 or more cards and there to be over a goal in the game. And you can get that at plus 110, which offered.
What is the total line for? What is the total line for cards?
Well, it's a different section, so it's team cards. So both teams can either get over 1.5 card. That's the price. But the total card line itself, where I found it, is over 3.5, and that's at 1.9. So that's not too bad either.
Okay, thanks, George. We're going to come straight back to you because it's Liverpool versus Manchester City, your team. You watched Man City go to Chelsea last week and get a massive win, which a lot of people didn't think they would get. I wrote an article about this game earlier, and I was just looking at it for so long, and I just couldn't find anything to say about it. In the end, I had to go for a draw because I couldn't split them. I don't know what sort of game we're going to get. Are we going to get one of those boring 0-0 games? Is it going to be one of those crazy 4-1s that we've seen recently? How do you think this one's going to unfold?
Well, you look at the Premier League head-to-heads recently of these two at Anfield, and you've got the last, I think it's 4 fixtures. You've got 4-1, 3-1, 0-0, and 4-3. There's usually goals in this game. That 0-0.
They had Fabinho and Henderson at centre back last time. They're going to be much.
I think that last season's result is one that probably doesn't bear a lot of fruit. No fans, obviously, very chopped and changed Liverpool side, but both of them were in Champions League action during the week, and Liverpool travelled to Portugal, and what a performance! Thumped Porto 5-1, and they could have scored even more. As we've already mentioned, City hopped the channel, lost 2-0 thanks to a moment of genius from little Leo. But no, both of them, they're scoring. Liverpool and Man City, they're scoring 2.5 and 2 goals per game respectively so far this season, and they create so many chances. Like I said, the fixture's been a classic down the years, but for me a big miss is Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's going to be out of this one through injury, and like I said, he's so important. No player has made more key passes or had more assists for Liverpool so far this season than him, and it means James Milner's likely to slot in to replace him. And he doesn't offer that forward threat or that output. He'll still get forward and look to make things happen, but he's not Trent Alexander-Arnold. For City, I'd expect Foden, who was obviously on the bench against PSG, he'll start here, and De Bruyne probably pushed into that false nine role as Pep loves to do in the bigger games. Both teams have scored in 5 of the last 6 meetings. But Liverpool, they're unbeaten in their last 11, and they've seen at least 3 goals in their last 6 overall. Jurgen Klopp just seems to have something that we saw recently we thought Tuchel had over Pep Guardiola, but he's the most successful manager against Pep, is Jurgen Klopp, over Pep Guardiola managed sides, with 9 victories from their 21 previous encounters. And the fact that these two sit in first and second for average shots per game, and with the chances that they'll create, because I think City's back line can be got at from this Liverpool side with Salah and Mane, but likewise I think we can get in behind them. First and second for average shots per game. And just with the chances, I'm expecting another potential clash of the ages down at Anfield. So I really liked over 2.5 goals at -125. I think that's going to be the play for me here in an entertaining game.
Interesting. 13 games between the two teams since Guardiola moved to Man City. And it's, I think, 6 wins for Liverpool, 5 for Man City, and 2 draws. But Man City have had the better of it in recent years.
Yep.
As I say, I looked at it for ages, couldn't make my mind up. Tarvold's going 0-0, Frank's going 1-1. That was the sort of way I was looking at it, to be honest. But you disagree as well, Alex. You're going goals.
Yeah, it has all the ingredients for a classic match, for a high-scoring affair. If not Milner, then Joe Gomez, maybe Milner in the first half, replaced with Gomez in the 65th minute, because Milner probably will not play 90 minutes, Well, he did well against Porto. Yeah, but we're talking about Porto and we're not talking about City, with that pace in front the City has. And probably from the left side, City to threaten Liverpool's defense. But yeah, as George said, I think that this should be a very entertaining match. It's true that you said, Martin, that last year when they had those crazy results, they were missing Van Dijk. But also 2 years in front, they had like a 3-1 type of game between them with Van Dijk in. So I don't think that counts so much. Salah is on fire. Mane can score from every position. He's such a classic player. I don't know now who will play, Jota or Firmino in front. Let's see the style that Pep will put his team in front there. This will be very, very interesting, because it's unpredictable lately what Pep is doing, very, very unpredictable. So for every match he's using something different. So let's see what he will do this time around against Liverpool. But yeah, I'm going with the Alex Classic all the way at -110.
Okay, thanks, Alex. Massive, massive pass for me, this one. Don't like it at all, I must admit. On that note, Esteban, could you please bring up the picks? We'll read them out. So I'm going for Man United to win and over 1.5 goals at -130. Straight win for Burnley at -107. I got Chelsea win to 0 at +125. Arsenal draw no bet at -125. And both teams to score in the Palace versus Leicester game at -115.
United Everton over 2.5 goals at -122. Chelsea win to 0 at +120. Liverpool City Alex Classic at -110. West Ham Brentford over 2.5 goals at -105.
And I've got Burnley to beat Norwich at -110. Wolves and Newcastle both to find the back of the net at -105. The other one is actually Southampton +1.25 on the Asian handicap there. And I've also got Spurs against Aston Villa to see over 2.5 goals at -111.
Oh, apologies, George. You've got Southampton +125 on the Asian handicap there. That's my mistake. Got that one wrong. Okay, thanks, George. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Esteban. Cooking with cash. Let's have a weekend, boys. Let's have a weekend, boys. It's been great. We've done the Bundesliga and Serie A already. We've just smashed our way through the Premier League. And in half an hour, we have got La Liga Primera. So do join us back for that. Really quickly. Ian loves a parlay. Give us your best pick each for a part 2 team parlay.
West Ham Brentford over 2.5 goals.
Okay, George.
It's best bet. Yeah, the Burnley win. Burnley win for me.
So Burnley win and over 2.5 goals in that game that Alex mentioned. Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. Give us a like on your way out. Head on over to Sportsbook Review. Spend half an hour reading all the great content there. And then join us again for La Liga Primera. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, George. See you again soon. Goodbye.
Thanks very much for having me. Have a good weekend.